With Apple's September event now over and all the new iPhone 17s now being in the hands of millions of customers already, Apple is now getting ready for some October announcements. In fact, we are expecting not 1, not 2, not 3, not even 5, but 7 new Apple products coming this month. So here's everything to expect. But before that, Daniel from Hawaii here. I'm attending the Snapdragon Summit, and I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor Paperlike with their brand new Paperlike 3 screen protector made for artists, note takers, or anyone that loves their natural paper feel. Paperlike 3 has been rebuilt from the ground up with an entirely new butterfly application system that prevents dust and air bubbles from getting under your screen. So make sure to check out Paperlike by using the link below. Okay, so the first thing to expect is a brand new Apple TV 4K. There's some leaked code that suggests that a new Apple TV could feature the Apple A17 Pro chip from the iPhone 15 Pro and the iPad mini 7 inside, potentially giving us Apple Intelligence on the Apple TV for the very first time. This chip would also bump the RAM from 4GB to 8, as the A17 Pro only shipped with 8. Apple may also include their own Wi-Fi 7 N1 chip from the iPhone 17 lineup, plus Bluetooth 5.3 or 6.0, which would then improve the range and stability over the current Bluetooth 5.0 that's still being used by the USB-C Serial remote. Ming Chi Kuo also hints at a lower price, possibly even under $100, which would be amazing. On top of this, tvOS 26 code even references a built-in camera, although the placement could be a bit problematic for users who actually keep their Apple TV behind their TV or inside some cabinets. Still, it's been 3 years since the last A15 powered model, so an upgrade is definitely overdue. And maybe I might even finally upgrade from my 8-year-old OG Apple TV 4K that's still rocking the A10X chip with just 3GB of RAM. But really, the star of the show would likely be the M5 iPad Pro. And I gotta say, with that tandem OLED display, our wallpapers look amazing. We've got over 2,000 amazing designs made by our designers for our app Wallpapers exclusively, which is available for free, by the way, on both iOS and Android. Link down below. But back to the iPad, Apple has also introduced a redesigned Magic Keyboard and also the new Apple Pencil Pro, marking the first major iPad Pro overhaul since 2018. But because of that, this year's update is expected to be mostly a spec bump. There are some reports that suggest that Apple is already working on the next-gen tandem OLED display with slimmer bezels, so similar to what we have on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra, just without that notch. Apple is also reportedly testing a new LX Semicon display driver to achieve those thinner bezels, although none of this is expected until the M6 or the M7 iPad Pro in 2026 and 2027. One upgrade that is expected, though, is dual front-facing cameras. According to Mark Gurman, the upcoming M5 iPad Pro models may include both portrait and landscape cameras for more natural video calls. Other possible upgrades include Apple's new Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chip, also the brand new front-facing center stage camera, the 18-megapixel one from the iPhone 17s, and more RAM as well, possibly 12GB on the base model from the current 8. You could already get 16GB, by the way, starting with the M1, but that was only on the 1TB plus configurations. Now, the crazy thing is that Wilsacom, a well-known Russian YouTuber, has already unboxed the 13-inch M5 iPad Pro. He's the same person who unboxed the M4 MacBook Pro early. The box shows a 13-inch model with the M5 chip, 256GB of storage, and a space black finish. Externally, it's almost identical to the M4 iPad Pro, retaining the single camera module in the back, 4 speakers, the smart connector, and the ultra-thin 5.1mm body. The only visible change is removal of the iPad Pro text on the back. He also ran Geekbench 6, and the scores show the M5 chip delivering 12% faster multi-core performance and 36% faster GPU performance than the M4, and that's with the exact same 9-core CPU configuration with 3 performance cores and 6 efficiency cores. Also, the base 256GB model is now confirmed to have 12GB of RAM, up from 8. It of course runs on iPadOS 26, and it seems to be manufactured in August 2025. Now, while this unit doesn't actually show a second front camera, the unit unboxed by Romanchev768, another Russian tech YouTuber, does. So you may be wondering, how on earth do the iPads and MacBooks get leaked when the iPhones never get leaked before release? Well, that's because iPads and MacBooks, these ones are made in Vietnam, not China. So leakers likely have inside contacts only in the Vietnam factories. But yeah, I do still think it's crazy that they got their hands on Apple products before they're even announced. At number 3, we've got the M5 Mac Mini. Now, I don't expect any design changes here, as Apple already gave it a full redesign last year with the M4 model, which still offers some incredible value. Considering that the pre-M4 design went unchanged for nearly 14 years, dating all the way back to 2010, I don't think we'll see another redesign anytime soon. What's really interesting though is a new report suggesting that Apple may only launch an M5 Pro Mac Mini this year. The current M4 Pro version uses the identifier J773, while the new J873 in testing appears to be its M5 Pro successor. So far, there's been no sign of a base M5 model, although I would find it quite unlikely that Apple would just launch the Pro variant without a standard one, especially when you consider what Apple's rumored to be doing this year with the MacBook Pros. More on that soon. At number 4, we have the new AirTag 2. Now, the first AirTag was introduced 4 years ago, so an update is definitely overdue. The next AirTag is rumored to feature a second-generation ultra-wideband chip, which would offer up to 3 times the range of the original U1. Now, Apple introduced the U2 chip with the iPhone 15 lineup, and it's already been included in their latest AirPods Pro 3s, so it would be odd for a tracking device like the AirTag to stick with the older chip. Michiko also says that the AirTag could integrate with the Vision Pro as part of Apple's spatial computing ecosystem. Now, details on this are pretty scarce, so I'm assuming we'll be able to just see a 3D representation of the AirTag 2 through objects so that we know exactly where it's located. As for the design, we aren't expecting to see any changes, and it will more than likely use the same easily replaceable CR2032 battery as well. Now, at number 5, we have the new HomePod Mini, which hasn't been updated in 5 years. Now, the reason why we may see this being introduced in October is because back in January, Mark Gurman reported that Apple plans to release a new HomePod Mini towards the end of the year. And aside from October, we aren't really expecting any other Apple announcements or releases until early next year. Now, I'm also expecting the new HomePod Mini to feature an Apple-designed Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chip, possibly the N1 from the iPhone 17s, which would then bring Wi-Fi 7 to the HomePod Mini, a huge upgrade from the current HomePod Mini's Wi-Fi 4, a standard introduced back in 2009. The N1 is also extremely power efficient, although this won't really matter since the HomePod Mini will still be plugged in. That's one thing that I would love to see, a battery-powered version of the HomePod Mini. We may also see an upgrade from the S5 chip, yes, the same chip found in the Apple Watch Series 5, to the S9 chip, or even the S10, although these two are basically identical. We may also see some new colors and improved sound quality, although I wouldn't expect any design changes here. Up next, we have the second-gen Apple Vision Pro. Now, this is one of the most outdated products that Apple still sells for full price, as it still runs on the M2 chip from 2022, despite its $3,500 price tag. And while we don't expect any major design changes to the hardware aside from maybe a new space black color, the jump to an M5 would be a much needed upgrade, which would leap ahead the chip by 3 entire generations. Michiko predicts that the Vision Pro with the M5 chip will enter mass production in Q3 of 2025, so an October launch would fit perfectly. He also mentioned that the rest of the Vision Pro's specs are expected to remain the same. No pricing details have been shared yet, but I'm hoping that Apple will finally lower the cost of the Vision Pro, maybe even by a tiny bit. Do leave a like if you'd like to see a more affordable version, and let me know in the comments what will be the maximum price that you would spend on the second-gen Vision Pro. Now, here's the weird thing. Michiko, like I said, is predicting that we'll get the M5 chip with the second-gen Vision Pro. However, Mark Gurman says that we'll only get the M4. He also states that the neural engine inside of either the M4 or M5 would be custom built, using more cores for that neural engine, thus improving the processing of AI tasks. I'm personally hoping for the M5, as this event could be the debut for the M5 chip, so introducing a high-end $3,500 product with an older chip at the M5 event would be odd. There's also a new FCC filing that has leaked with the new Vision Pro reference. Essentially, an Apple head-mounted device with the model number A3416, and an image confirms that yes, this is a Vision Pro. Bloomberg also reports a new strap that's coming to reduce neck strain and also head pain. Hopefully, it will be sold separately for first-gen Apple Vision Pro users like myself. although I don't expect this to be cheap. So what about the M5 MacBook Pros? Well, the FCC has also just published some documents that do reference model numbers that do not correspond with any existing devices. These model numbers more than likely reference the M5 MacBook Pro and the M5 MacBook Pro. And this does correspond with Mark Gurman's latest report, where he mentioned that Apple's new MacBook Pros, J714 and J716, and also Apple's new MacBook Airs, J813 and J815, are about to enter mass production. Now, the FCC report included one single unknown MacBook Pro model, and according to Mark Gurman's latest report, that could be just the base M5 MacBook Pro, with Apple planning on releasing the M5 Pro and M5 Max variants in the spring. And this report also included two new monitors, codenamed J427 and J527, which are clearly both 27-inch monitors based on the codename. So I'm thinking that the J427 could be the regular studio display, whereas the J527 would be an upgraded version, either with a nano texture display or ProMotion. And of course, both of these are rumored to feature a new mini LED backlight, which would give it a higher brightness, also HDR, and also much improved black levels, just like the MacBook Pros. And speaking of black levels, the long-awaited OLED MacBook Pro redesign may not arrive until 2027, although I am still hoping for a late 2026 release, as Apple has actually launched two MacBook generations in the past, like in 2011, 2013, and 2020, with early and late models. So this is everything we know about Apple's upcoming October products, which may be announced either at an actual October event, which would be likely a recording, or as press releases. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, as we'll definitely be covering everything on the channel announced in October. Also, let me know in the comments, which product are you excited for the most? Check out Wallpapers for some amazing designs such as this one. I'm Daniel, this has been Son of Tech, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Son of Tech, signing out. Cheers.